Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Uh, with it being close to the new year, in fact, tomorrow's New Year's Day for me. So 2018 was a learning experience like every year. Everything we do is a learning experience, and the quicker we figure that out, the better off we are. Everybody makes mistakes in life. Everybody needs to own up to their own mistakes. Don't hide your mistakes, own them. I can name off several things that I made mistakes about, and I've always been honest about my mistakes. So today we're going to recap my mistakes, so maybe some of you won't make them. One of the first mistakes I did, and most people do, is I let others dictate the way I feel about myself. I have absolutely no self-worth. I have let people dictate on me feeling fat, obese, nasty, gross. I have let people tell me that I'm horrendous looking and that all kinds of horrible things I've had said to me. And I really wasn't overweight until my son was like a year old. I walked out of the hospital having a 9-pound, 8-ounce little boy at 98 pounds. I put on only 11 pounds while I was pregnant. It was all baby. So I was actually thinner when I left the hospital than when I got pregnant. And it wasn't for lack of eating or anything else. My son was a very healthy little boy. 9 pounds, 8 ounces, 5 weeks early. Yeah, he was healthy. My daughter, I only put on maybe 11, 12 pounds with. And I was overweight at the time. But I had lost during my first trimester 40 to 50 pounds because I couldn't hold food down. But don't let that fool you. She was 9 pounds, 11 ounces. And she was early. And I was on medication with both children before you guys even think anything to help them grow because they figured I would not be able to carry full term. And even though my pregnancies were not the most pleasant, I personally would love to do it again. I loved being pregnant, even though I was completely miserable. Stress really, really got to me while I was pregnant. And I mean really got to me. And that's actually what caused a lot of my miscarriages when I was younger, is I would let stress eat me, is a good way to phrase it. But that's my phone. But at the same time, I let people dictate what I felt about myself. When I was younger, I graduated high school at 94 pounds. That was not healthy. I had people telling me if I was up to 100, I was fat. So I kept myself below 100 pounds. It's not smart. Don't listen to what people say. Get to a weight where you're healthy. It's not really on weight, honestly. It's on size. I was skin and bones, pretty much. After I graduated, I got sick. And I mean really, really, really sick. I literally almost died, and I did die on the operating table. I was lucky enough to be brought back. But after that situation, which I had what was called a schwannoma tumor attached to the side of my colon, I was 18 years old. I went from 90 some odd pounds to 64 in a matter of a few months of the tumor actually getting to the size of a grapefruit. I had issues walking. I had issues talking, staying awake, a lot of issues at that point. And a lot of my issues now have been caused by the initial surgery. I've had several surgeries to correct that first surgery, and that has also helped with my body issues because I now have a huge scar going down the center of my belly. I used to be very self-confident in the way I could portray myself. I still didn't think I was pretty or anything like that, but I did look a lot better. And I did feel a lot better about myself until they, I'm going to phrase it as, gutted me. A lot of my scars I have covered up with tattoos. I have a lot of scars on my body from stupid stunts and other items that we may go into later. But that has really caused an issue with my self-worth. My first marriage, I was skinny, I looked fine, I felt fine about myself and everything. I got to 120 pounds, 130. I was like, wow, I feel great. I don't feel tired. I feel great at this weight. Got up to 140, I still feel great. In fact, I looked better than I ever had before. And then I started putting on more weight and more weight. I was on the Depo-Provera. And that's where my weight gain started. I got up to over 300 pounds. And I mean well over 300 pounds in a matter of 3 years. It really destroyed me because I had been thin my whole life, and all of a sudden I was morbidly obese. I've worked very hard to get down to the weight I am now. When I originally started filming these videos, I was at 240. I'm now at 205. So that's pretty good weight loss, and it's been all natural. I haven't really changed much, just my diet. And it's helped out a lot on the way I look to other people. Still, I'm not to the size I want to be. I want to be about a size 10. So, because I felt better and I felt like I looked better at that size. I never want to be a size 0 again. That's too skinny for me personally. If you're that skinny and you're good with it, great. My son is tall. Well, he's about 5-6 inches taller than me. Well, more than that. I'm only 5'3". I'm short. But he is about 5'10", 5'11", and he weighs 126 pounds. He eats. My daughter is 5'5". She weighs 126, same as her brother, and it looks great on her. I am not going to complain about my kid's weight. I know my son eats. He eats a lot. He just has a very fast metabolism. I would never tell my kids that they're too skinny or too fat because you're going to cause body issues like I have, and I don't wish that upon anyone. But that is one of the main mistakes I've made, and I keep making. I keep telling myself I'm not going to do it anymore, and I keep doing it. Another mistake I've made in my past, which I see a lot of people doing nowadays, is getting married too young. One way to phrase it is you are going to be changing very, very fast from the age of 20, well, actually about 18, till you're about 25. Then the way you're changing actually slows down a bit. So you really don't know yourself until you're about 25 because you're really getting into the groove of being an adult. Getting married when you're in your early 20s, you have a great chance of growing apart. I got married when I was 20, and by the time I was 25, I noticed that my ex and I were completely on different wavelengths, different moralities, different everything. And that's really when a lot of issues started. Because before that, I just went along with whatever he said. But I was coming into my own person. And that's one thing that we all do, is we come into our own person. So we need to look at that. and decide, okay, let's hold off. My current husband and I, we're not quite married, but we've been together for 12 years. He's helped me raise my kids. We've bought a house together. We've been through everything together. Even though he tells me that I'm beautiful and everything like that, I really don't believe him. It sounds bad, but I do. I wonder, what does he see in me? Because to me, he is the best looking guy I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. So I feel very blessed that he is in my life and he feels the way he does about me. He never knew me when I was skinny. He's only known me while I've been fat. And I know a lot of people are going, oh, you're fat shaming. I'm like, no. If you're comfortable in your body, go for it. All thumbs up. I personally am not comfortable in my body. My body aches. My body does not feel good hardly ever. So that's why I work on losing weight. That's why I'm trying to get to a weight I'm comfortable at. And as I said, it's more of a size that I'm comfortable at rather than a weight. Because you can be 300 pounds and feel great about yourself. Go for it. More power to you. You could be 90 pounds and feel great about yourself. Go for it, but both sections need to be careful about what they're eating, how much they're eating, and what they're doing. Because you don't want to cause health issues because you're overweight. My frame is very, very small. I am built to be very small. I wear a Fitbit, and it's literally loose on me. It's loose on me, and it's the small one. So I have a very small wrist. I have very small hands. I have very small feet. I wear a size 6 shoe. Everything about me is small, besides my weight. And I don't look like I weigh over 200 pounds, but I do. I carry my weight very, very well for me. But at the same time, I don't feel good about it. But going back to the stupid marriage thing, I stayed married and I got married because I got pregnant. I thought that was best for my child. That's not. Being married does not make you a more stable home. Being married does not make you an actual family. Being married does not mean you're doing best for your child. That is something I had to learn personally. I thought that it was important for the parents to be married and stay married. Not always the truth. My kids have been better off since my ex and I got divorced because we didn't get along. For a while we did. For a while it was okay. At least in my head it was okay. In other people's heads, they were telling me, there's things wrong with your relationship, but I thought that's the way relationships worked. As I said, I'm pretty messed up in here. That's why I feel like I need to get this stuff out for other people. But to tell the truth, I thought my relationship was great until people were going, you're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to do anything, really. You're allowed to work and come home. If you go out with your friends, you get accused of cheating. When you go out anywhere, you get accused of cheating. There's something I figured out with that. And this is the other thing I learned. If a person is constantly accusing you of cheating, and this is thanks to all the psychology courses and everything else I took, that means the person has either cheated, has thought of cheating, or is cheating. Has nothing to do with has been cheated on or anything else. It doesn't matter if it's a physical relationship or a verbal or just a psychological relationship. They are all forms of cheating. I'm looking for something. And so for that, it's kind of a funky thing about it. Because I didn't think anything about it until I had it pointed out to me. And this was by several people, including, sad thing is, my ex-husband doesn't know this, but including his father and his mother, pointed out that there was things wrong in the relationship, that I deserved better. In fact, I had a good relationship with his mom up until the day she passed away. Had an excellent relationship with her. Talked to her every chance I got, everything like that. My kids got to see her, even though her son and her weren't talking. My kids were still able to build a semi-relationship with their grandmother, which is important. So that is one thing I learned, is you can't sit there and put things off. You can't sit there and not listen to people around you. I think what was the real telltale sign of the relationship was wrong was I went down to Texas. I did some training for a company I was working for. I came home and I was getting accused of cheating and everything while I was down there. I didn't even see anyone besides work for the month I was there. My daughter comes up to me, and she's 2.5 years old, and she informs me she had mommies of many flavored hair. And at that time, flavors were colors. So if she said they had strawberry hair, they had red hair. If they had banana hair, they were blonde. If they had chocolate hair, it was brown. Real easy to go with. You could understand her lovely child language. And that was it. That was literally the final straw. I was working 2 to 3 jobs to support my family. My ex-husband was not working. He was not helping. And that's another thing you guys have to look at in a relationship when you're young, is, are you both putting in equal effort? If you're not putting in that equal effort, you're going to have problems. That relationship is not going to work. One person cannot put in all the work and the other person not put in any. We may have Akiba show up in the screen in a minute. He's walking across the couches. Huskies do what Huskies do. But you have to put in equal effort. If you're not putting in equal effort, the relationship is going to fail. Early 20s, not a good time to get married. You're still developing as a person. You're still developing as a person throughout your life, but at the same time, that is when you do the most changing, is at that point in your life. I also, in the next few days, get the joy of turning 40. A lot of people care about their age, go, oh, I'm not going to tell. I'm happy with my age. I'm happy I've gotten to do things that I never thought I would get to do. I had 2 kids. When I was 18 and I had that first surgery, I was told I wouldn't have children. So don't believe everything a doctor tells you on that. You can end up having kids, even if they say you can't have kids. You may just have a harder time, which the older I've gotten, the more issues it's been. And it was from the first surgery. I got really way too sick, and I was hoping I would die because my life was that bad. But another thing I learned, life can change very, very quickly. I went from having a good career, a good job, being able to support my kids and my ex-husband, to not having that career, not having that job because of mistakes. I was in the midst of a divorce. He called up. He threatened my workplace. I lost my job. Zero tolerance. It's fine. I am not mad at the company at all. At least they were thinking of their other employees and thinking of protecting them. That is all that really matters on that fact, is the company took enough care and enough initiative to protect other people. That way nothing bad would happen. I live in Oklahoma now. I've lived in Oklahoma for almost 30 years. I don't really like it here, but I make the best of it. Once you're stuck here, you're pretty much stuck here. Other mistakes I've made have been stupid, frivolous. I let my credit cards get stolen a few years back. I'm still battling with that because I had a very smart person steal my credit cards. And I didn't know they were stolen until 4 to 5 months later, which, if pay attention to your credit, I was not paying attention to it. I was quitting a job, that way I could concentrate because I had a lot of like schoolwork coming ahead, so I was going to get all of these little things done real quick and go back to working. And the last day of that job, someone got in, stole my credit cards, all of them. Opened up an account with Walmart. I don't like Walmart. I go there as little as possible because a lot of the stuff is just really too cheap and it's just way too busy, way too much for me. So I try to go to Walmart as little as possible. But they opened a Walmart card, they opened a Hibdon's card, so they got tires, I guess. I don't really know what they got. They bought a bunch of stuff there. They bought a bunch of stuff with my Macy's card. They bought things with my Capital One card. And I'm the one that's going to pay for all this because I didn't know until way later what had happened. I did report my Capital One card as stolen, but I didn't know how bad it was until after the fact. Because you only have a certain amount of time that you can file for a stolen card before it's on you. This person apparently knew where I lived, changed my address on those cards, and changed my address on everything. And this was a person that I worked with that did this to me. I don't know who they are or who it was or anything else, but they did it. So be careful with your credit. That's the other thing, is don't spend too much on your credit cards. If you can't pay it off the next month or right after the fact, don't get them. You need to build credit. You can lose jobs because you don't have credit. You cannot be hired for certain jobs because you don't have credit or you have poor credit. Start working on your credit young. But don't sit there and overspend. Only do what you can afford. Only do things you can afford to do. Don't live past what you can afford. That was the mistake I made the entire time I was married to my ex. I worked for it. We could afford it, but I didn't know where any of my money went. I had no idea where my money went. I made more money back then than I do now. And this is 13 years later. I make less money than I did back then. And so it's kind of sad. In all actuality, I make a lot less money now, and I'm living a lot better than I did back then. And things were a lot cheaper back then. Except for I did have diapers and that kind of stuff. I still have a child in high school. I still want to go back to diapers. But those are things I learned. Also, if you live in the Bible Belt, sounds bad, but if you live in Oklahoma, you really have to watch what you say to people. People, as my daughter phrased it, get triggered about stupid things. But people get triggered about stupid things anyway. I don't really bring up religion at work. I don't bring up politics at work because that just causes too much drama. In all honesty, it all causes drama. I've had people go, oh, and you've been friends with them for months and months and months, and you've never hid that you're not mainstream religion. Say, oh, I can't be friends with you because you're such and such a religion. I've had old women, I have a tattoo on my chest of a pinnacle. It's a beautiful tattoo. I love it. But I've had people walk up to me and tell me I don't deserve children because I'm a Satanist. Pinnacles have nothing to do with Satanism. Pentagrams, yeah. Pentacles, no. And really, Satanists, most of the ones I know, are not bad people. In fact, they're good people. You can't judge a person by their religion, is another thing I've learned over the years. It doesn't matter what religion a person is. They can be good or they can be bad. Every religion has the good ones. Every religion has the bad ones. You cannot judge a person on their sexuality. You cannot judge a person on their gender. You can't judge a person just because you see them a certain way. Get to know them first. Then make your decision on a person. That is the easiest way to phrase it, is don't judge a book by a cover. Because not all people are good and not all people are bad. Every religion, race, gender, everything has their good people and their bad people. You cannot judge anyone on a small portion of the population. And I've noticed a lot of people jump to conclusions. And it's just purely ignorance is what's causing this. And I've really not made that mistake very often with people because I've always been a bit weird and my kids are weird. So it's always been, okay, you're this, I don't care. You're a good person, I don't really care. My husband and I are completely different spectrums of religion, but our morals are very, very similar, which makes a relationship very easy, even though we have different beliefs. So when he's celebrating Christmas time, I'm celebrating solstice, and so forth. It doesn't matter to us because all religions intertwine one way or another. No religion, no belief is more powerful than another. Even if you have that in your head, religion is to help people feel good, show people a way to live. No religion states to hate, supposedly. Even though I have read several books and there are several very bad things directed towards individuals. It's one of the issues I have with several belief systems, but we're not going to go into that because everybody learns differently. I've learned if you don't have a job set up, don't quit a job. Make sure you keep that job until you have that other job set up. One reason I'm still at my job right now is because I don't have anything set up that can support my family or support me for that matter. You have to make sure you can take care of yourself as well as your family before you can make yourself happy. Make sure you have something set up. I apply for jobs daily, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now. But I'm still not going to quit my job until I have something set up. Another issue I see, and this is a lot of people, is once you hate your job, you don't work as hard. You don't work as well as what you need to. The way I do my job doesn't change. If I like my job or hate my job, I am still going to do my job well. It is a reflection on me as a person, on how good of a job I do. And that is one of the things I really believe in when you're working, is the way you do your job and the way you perform your job is a reflection of you. So do your job well. That's simple. And do your job and keep your job. A lot of people don't understand, oh, I got fired for not doing my job. Sorry, that's the way it works. You have to do your job. You have to do your job well. Strive to do better. Strive to move up in the company. Always try your hardest. Always be happy for what you have. And work towards the things you want. I'm working towards being able to have a child this year. Well, this coming year. I'm working to get this YouTube channel up and running so maybe I can spend more time at home. So I can start cooking on here and showing you guys what I've been doing to lose my weight. Because about 40 pounds is a lot of weight to lose in 3 months. And I work out the same way I always do. I eat healthy. I'm not starving or anything like that. And it's working. And believe in yourself even if other people don't. That's a good one, is believe in yourself even if others don't. I have been told so many nasty things in my life. It's really affected me. And it'll probably affect me the rest of my life. That's why you need to watch what you say. And this includes on YouTube or even on your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Instagrams. When you're saying nasty things about people, you're bringing yourself down, as well as that person, and you're hurting them. I know a lot of people don't understand that social media hurts more than it helps in a lot of situations. That's why I'm trying to help with mine. Find the positive things. I used to watch a lot of different YouTubers, and I don't watch a lot of them anymore because a lot of them have become negative. But some of them, one of them was Anision and Lanybot. I absolutely adore the two. They are such a cute couple. I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, but they've actually become more positive over the years. And they've adjusted their relationship to what they need. That's what you have to do if you really love a person. Also, don't just settle for someone. Make sure it's real love. It's not teenage puppy love or lust or anything like that. Actually love the person. That's probably one of the most important things, is find someone that loves you for who you are, not for who you are not, and not for what you can do for someone. In a lot of my situations in dating and stuff, it was what I could do for them. Not who I was, not anything else. It was what I could do. When I was younger, I was told I wouldn't learn how to read because I am dyslexic. I am completely 150% dyslexic. It was harder for me to learn how to read. It was harder for me to learn how to do math. But because they kept telling me I wouldn't be able to do it, it drove me to do it. By the time I was in junior high, I had an above college reading level because they told me I wouldn't be able to do it. And this was teachers. I'll have to go into a story about a teacher I had in the first grade that almost ruined my life on a later day. Because she really did some stuff. And this does happen in schools. So it's something I need to go into one of these days. That way, if your child says a teacher's doing this, you'll go check it out. But as always, Happy New Year. Let's make this year a better year. Learn from your mistakes in life. Own up to your mistakes. If you can, change, because you are the only person that can change you. If you don't want to change really, you're not going to change. If you're not wanting to grow, you're not going to grow. It's like with addicts. They're the only ones that can actually get them to stop. Family members, I know you love them, but they have to be willing to stop themselves, or it's just going to be relapse after relapse. If they're not really truly wanting to change, they're not going to. So don't let people make you think of how you think of yourself like I have. Don't let people break you down like I've let people break me down over the years. Know that no matter what size you are, what gender, what race, what religion you are, you as a person are worth it. You are worth everything in your life. You are worth the world to someone and to yourself. Don't let others judge you and make you judge yourself into such a poor way of thinking about yourself as I have let people do to me. Let yourself be you. Be weird, be quirky, watch anime, do weird things, try weird food. Just make yourself happy. And know that if you're happy, your family's going to be happy. Don't worry too much on the way the world views you. View yourself as the real you. As always, down below is the click and subscribe and everything. And as always, I've still got my GoFundMe up, trying to get that precious money to have that precious bundle of joy. That way you guys can watch me be hormonal and be emotional. Might be interesting if I'm emotional. Might be really interesting to see me cry. Definitely, since I don't cry that often until I start thinking of kids and animals and all the squishy things in life. But as always, try to help me if you can. If you can't, great. Try clicking subscribing. Help me get this going. And thank you. And bye-bye. Don't have too much fun tonight. I know it's New Year's. I know you want to drink, but be responsible and love yourself.